company. Whatever you are looking for, you'll find it here indeed, in meaningful mornings. Meaningful mornings. Meaningful mornings.
Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. A great philosophical movie is called Groundhog Day. And there's one scene where Andy McDowell, I believe her name is Rita, is speaking to Bill Murray, I think his name is Phil, about qualities that she admires in a significant other. So she's saying one who's gentle and artistic and compassionate. And as she's saying this, he's saying out loud, "That's me, that's me, that's me too." On Friday, after we had gathered, Sheila had asked me, "Teach me what you taught everyone in Meaningful Mornings." So I started sharing qualities of Duryodhana: hypocritical, aggressive, mean, distracted, negligent, insecure, insincere, selfish, reactive, desperate. And she said, "I said, teach me about meaningful mornings, not you." Which was very clever and truthful. Meaningful Mornings is a workshop to make ourselves more vulnerable. When we are honest, we can grow, independently and collectively. Acharya Bhishma keeps the Mahabharata flowing and the Bhagavad Gita. He blows his conch, the Kauravas become the aggressors. This was the cultural content of this verse. In terms of Acharya Bhishma, I've been sharing that he is loyal to the land. Loyalty is black and white. In application, it's gray. We've all experienced that. We will continue to experience that. I gave you objective references like being a ER doctor in a hospital that is political, being a police officer and having to correct a family member. Lots to think about in terms of loyalty. After Acharya Bhishma roars and blows, what happens? We are in chapter 1, verse 13. Tata shankascha beryascha panavanaka gomukhaha sahasevabhyahanyanta sashabdastumulo bhavat tataha. After Acharya Bhishma's actions, Shankaha Bherya. Lots of conches were blown. Bherya, lots of drums were played. Panava, Anaka, Gomukhaha. These are other instruments. Instruments that are metal, instruments that are of skins, like percussion instruments. Sahasa eva abhyahanyanta. And then suddenly, there was this great rise, a great following. Sashabdaha tumulo abhavat. And the noise was thunderous. This is the simple translation. I'll explain more. There was a fear and a freeze that was happening on the Kaurava side. And Acharya Bhishma, his action worked to get everyone into fight mode. What's lovely about this verse is the attention to detail in terms of the types of instruments, not just drums, but metal instruments like trumpets. And I'd reference skins. In chapter 6, there will be one verse, one teaching, where Sri Krishna shares, when you contemplate, you have to create a seat, and part of that seat is to have a skin there, leather. The skins that are used are of animals that have already died. The animals are not killed for these instruments, for a seat. They've already died. For those in our devotion course, how Sri Krishna and his family lived with the cows and the calves. There was never a violence against the environment, very much in harmony with the environment. And when you're in tension, you react. If you're feeling very tense and someone you love comes into the room, you get startled, right? So that's what's happening here. This sudden lifting up shows how tense the Kauravas are. Madhusudana Saraswati has shared, this thunderous noise of the Kauravas never shook the Pandavas. They are not tense. It is the Kauravas who are tense. And in terms of this noise, you have to visualize 2.5 million warriors or even people are making noise together. In our home, 2 boys create this noise. Imagine 2.5 million warriors, the noise that would be created. Infusing philosophy into this verse and where we are, we want our lifestyle, we want our vision to be more black and white and not gray. Like with directions, you want to have clear directions, not do I turn here or turn there. Our lifestyle and vision is really facilitated by faith. In Sanskrit, we call this Shraddha. Where you have faith, matters are more clear. How do you decide what to be faithful in, towards, etc.? There's a system given in Vedanta. Please note this because it's very application oriented. Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti. Shruti means revelations. And putting this very simply for you, what the wise would do. Those who know more, those who can see more, that is Shruti, revelations. Yukti is logic, being more objective, being more observant. And Anubhuti is your own experience. What you did last year or your last interaction with someone. So how should you facilitate your faith? Accounting for these 3 standpoints, these references, revelations and logic and experience. What's amazing about this is in Vedanta, there's a system to be totally clear about these references called the Prasthana Trayi. Prasthana Trayi. These are 3 scriptures. 3 scriptures to help us be clear about what to be faithful in, and so naturally, what not to be faithful in. The first scripture is Upanishad. Upanishad, and you can remember this easily as aphorisms. Aphorisms means a statement that is most philosophical, most deep, like a zip file. It's just a vial, but there's a lot in there. Next this is scripture 2, Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra. This is the analysis of the aphorism. So you have aphorism, the analysis, and scripture 3, the one that we're going through right now, is Bhagavad Gita. And this is the application of the analysis. Bhagavad Gita is to be lived. Now see how all of this connects. Faith. Revelations, what are they? Upanishad, or aphorisms. Faith. How? Yukti. That is logic or the analysis. To be more analytical. How do I facilitate my faith? Experience. Anubhuti. That is the application or Bhagavad Gita. So our experience in the mornings is helping us live in a more clear way. And not with our eyes. All of you look very groggy. Me more so. Clear through faith. I'll share more of this tomorrow. Your application from Friday was you trying to understand who to be loyal to, what to be loyal to. Did you all think about that? And you can share your thoughts in the chat. What is important? We should be loyal to dharma. Dharma is that which integrates. And of course, we should be loyal to divinity, but often that's just a word for us. That's the ends. I need the means. Dharma is the means. And the further application of this, we should be loyal to a purpose, not to a person. A person most likely has an ego. If there's an ego, there could be a break from divinity. But in terms of a purpose, that lives on past the person. The greatest people would want that. Don't depend on me, depend on my purpose. Let that be your purpose too. And I'll remind you of this when I shift to focusing on Prince Arjuna's ego. Your application for this morning. Every time someone interacts with you today, I want you to visualize that they're actually communicating to someone else. So if you told me, Vivek, can you go get that cup? I should visualize you're actually speaking to someone else, but I'm a third party mediator, a third party consultant. And since that person's not listening, I'll do it. Okay? So you are no longer the second party. You have to feel that you're the third party. If my instructions were unclear, just reflect on the instructions. Forget about actually doing it. And in terms of announcements, 2 weeks from today in the evenings, we begin Why Do We? A unique virtual discourse series, a workshop on bringing more meaning into the significant facets of our life, like being a child, being a friend, being a seeker. All of that is shared everywhere. Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be happiness.